Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Thursday as we're testing the 200-day moving average at 46,300 along with the $47,000 support level, but we've yet to really see a decisive break, and we know this is an extremely important support level because if we break this level, that could potentially put the scenario for Bitcoin to come down to test the monthly open at 41,950 because yes, we have 44,800 as a major support, but if we get below the 200-day moving average, we have to think about the emotions in the market, and the sentiment could potentially break us down to the monthly open. And who's to say if we get to 41,950, we're not going to see the sentiment drive Bitcoin's price to potentially see new further lows for this year. Remember, when you're watching the Snipers channel, we are 3 and 4 dimensional with our analysis. We're not 2-dimensional analysts. So you might have analysts saying, oh, well, we're going to find support at 40,000. We're going to find support at 41,000. But that's not really the full picture. The real picture here is even if we come to test 41,950 and it is a support level, what is that going to look like in a more macro sense when we include time into the equation? If we come down to 41,950, like some of the 2-dimensional analysts are saying, don't you think the fear in the market's going to potentially reject 44,800 at that point? And now we're talking about even further lows. Jerome Powell is speaking tomorrow at the Fed's town hall at 7 a.m. prior to traditional markets opening. He has this meeting every single month, and we know Jerome Powell is the reason we saw traditional markets and the cryptocurrency market bottom out in March 2020 as they began buying up bonds and mortgage-backed securities. A lot of the feds in different states like New York and other places like Virginia are talking about the need to stop tapering or start tapering off the purchasing of these securities. Let's say Jerome Powell tomorrow at 7 a.m. comes out and says, okay, we are going to start tapering our purchases of these bonds. Now, what's going to happen to the DXY? We know what's happening internationally. There's a lot of tension, especially what's going on in Afghanistan. And by the way, my heart and my condolences go out to the troops that were unfortunately affected by the tragedy that happened in Afghanistan. I would talk about it more, but we focus on technical analysis here. I just want to throw that out there. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Just realize that there was a major tragedy today. And so let's say that, we see the feds talking about raising interest rates, tapering away. Are we going to be seeing this DXY push up? If this pushes up, we know what happens to Bitcoin dominance. It pushes up. Now, there also has to be a narrative attached to every move. Of course, analysts that are just 2-dimensional will focus on the technical analysis, which is black and white, and that's fine because that has rules and it's accurate and it's technical, but there's always a narrative to why the technical analysis makes sense. If we start to see Bitcoin dominance go up with the DXY, the only narrative that we could think of here on the Snipers channel, at least in my view, is that Bitcoin's price is coming down like what happened in 2018, causing altcoins to crash and then causing fear for the whales to take their Bitcoin and hodl it and then take profits on their altcoins by going back into Bitcoin to hodl even more Bitcoin, causing the potential reversal of Bitcoin dominance to come back to homeostasis at this 200-week moving average where we know it loves to sit. If this happens, I couldn't see this happening with the market continuing to go further up, or at least Bitcoin continuing to go further up, because if that happens, altcoins will do well. Now, there might be a DeFi summer, a GameFi summer. We might see that, but the point is, if this happens, altcoins are going to bleed. The confirmation of this is going to be the leading indicator. Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. Are we going to break 65,000 Satoshis? It sure as hell looks like we're really coming to test this level. And if we knock on this door on the 4-hour chart, notice how this is the second time we're coming here to knock on this door. Is Satoshi going to open the door? Well, you come for a second time, that likelihood becomes a lot higher. You can see we're just riding this 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. If this breaks down, that will cause panic in the other altcoins, since Ethereum is the largest altcoin, so it's a leading indicator. And then that's when we can start looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So there's a lot to talk about today. It's a very, sad day with what happened in Afghanistan. So the S&P 500 is also starting to sell off. Now we also want to address, like we're talking about right now, hot topic, Afghanistan. Is that also a potential, I'm not going to say black swan event, but what I will say is that a potential threat to the traditional markets to see weakness? We're already seeing Asian markets sell off. S&P 500 is starting to sell off. It looks like there's a top here. This looks like a very classic top formation. We're just kind of rolling down over. And so September 11th is coming. That's an anniversary for the Taliban. I'm not trying to throw conspiracies out there, but I'm just saying the next 2 weeks could be very volatile. Let's just start there. So we're going to go just dive into this Bitcoin chart so we can have a little bit of some positivity in our day. And we talked about the $47,000 and $49,700 range yesterday. And we knew that was the range that we were playing in. Now, we've already breached this market structure support. You can see we tested it right here. We saw the fake out, and now we came to knock on the door a second time, and it opened. So it brings us to this $47,000 support level now. 44,800 is significant, but when you go onto the daily chart, why would Bitcoin break below the 200-day moving average to just come and test 44,800? Yes, that's a possibility, but we've kind of, slowed down here at this 200-day moving average. You have this sort of, kind of similar to the S&P 500, this toppish sort of formation. That's why we're 3 and 4 dimensional. See how much correlation there is, right? So, the fact that we form these higher highs, that's always a bearish pattern. We can pull up divergences on the RSI if we wanted. I mean, there's 100 things we could pull up here, but you guys probably see that with a lot of the 2-dimensional analysts, so we won't cover it. What I will say is this: 47,000 breaks. I don't think that 44,800 is the next level. I think we come to test the monthly open. It's a straight shot. 200, day moving average breaks. Why wouldn't we just come down to test the 50-day moving average? Totally garden variety market behavior, if you ask me. That's also the monthly open. Now, remember that date, September 11th, and remember tomorrow at 7 a.m. Those are 2 important things you want to keep if you leave with anything from this video, right? Now, here's the thing. A 2-dimensional analyst will say, okay, yeah, we test 41,950. Yeah, you're right. We will see a bounce. But markets are 80% emotion. We come down to test 41,950. There's a potential we wick down into the 30,000s. Now we're going to start to see a different type of market emotion play part, and the same strength that brought us up could potentially start a wave down. And guess what? This $49,700 level is not a new level for anyone on this channel, and I'm sure for even the 2-dimensional analysts, we know this is the golden zone. If we pull up Fibonacci retracement, this is the golden zone. And by the way, a lot of your analysts, will love to pull up Fibonacci retracements, but they don't factor in time in their analysis. If we were to take this fib speed resistance band, what you'll notice here, or the fib speed resistant fan, they call it, is if we take it from the $64,000 top to the $28,805 bottom that we saw with this market move, look where Bitcoin's at. We tested the 618, we broke through it, we came all the way above the blue zone. Remember this blue zone that we talked about from the 2019 move that was extremely similar to this? That blue zone is typically where things become oversold. if we come down, I mean, look at where we could potentially go. If we were to just come down to the 50% range here, that would be the $38,000-ish level. I mean, that could even be further down. I mean, it really depends on when it happens, but just realize that we are really starting to test this move to the upside and the strength of it, right? So that's all I have to say with that. Now, here's the thing. At any point in time, there is a potential that Bitcoin could start moving up above 49,700. If that happens, well, that would be the best case scenario, because we have the weekly open at 49,700 or just below it at 49,000, and then the $49,700 resistance, and a second knock of this door puts the upside scenario on the table, and we can just say right now the next target is 58,000. We'll probably find some room here at 54,000 to slow down, but then we can come and turn 49,700 as a support rather than a resistance. But this is the golden zone. This is a market variety test of the golden zone, right? We could even just kind of look at this as a wedge as well, right? We could do Elliott wave analysis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we could just do this 100 different ways and talk about how much resistance there is here at 49,700. So you just have to realize that if the market starts to break this 200-day moving average, it changes the emotions, right? It elongates the bear trend. It elongates the emotions, right? So I just think that that's very important to talk about. And so keep in mind, 7 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Jerome Powell opens his mouth. And we know that's, always going to affect the market, because government policy, fiscal policy, is one of the biggest factors of what affects markets, right? It's not this news you see on CNN. So Ethereum looks like it has a double top. Since the start of this push, when we entered Ethereum at 1770 and we got above 1980, I told you guys there's such a large range here that we're going to come to 3454. Guess what happened? This is exactly where we've sat and have had a cup of coffee, right? And so, Bitcoin doesn't get above 49,700. Ethereum getting above 3,400 becomes less likely. Bitcoin breaking down from 47,000, monthly open 2,500, we find support, and then we monitor the Ethereum and Bitcoin chart. If it's below 65,000 Satoshis, it doesn't really, pay to be in Ethereum. We might want to wait until we see the 1980s again. And that happens if Bitcoin's downside scenario comes on the table, because Ethereum will be weaker than Bitcoin. The same way this range took us to the upside faster than anybody could expect when all the two-dimensional analysts said altcoin season was over, and we said it wasn't. But that ended up being the nicest rally you could have been a participant of. Now we're, if we come down, the thing is if my Bitcoin dominance prediction is true, which so far I haven't seen anything argue against it, and we're starting to even see 2D analysts move with that opinion. If Bitcoin dominance comes up, Ethereum to the US dollar price will go down just as fast as it came up through this range, unfortunately. And so that's what the truth is there. If we see the rescue operation for Bitcoin above 49,700, this could all change. So this is the confirmation we're going to wait for. We haven't seen it yet. 65,000 Satoshis breaks. That's a confirmation, in my opinion, that this Bitcoin dominance chart's coming right back up to this 20-week moving average. It's sitting right around that 46% level. Currently, Bitcoin dominance 44% like yesterday. And then let's just kind of wrap up with the traditional markets. The DXY, Jerome Powell opens his mouth tomorrow. This has been on a tear since he started talking about interest rates coming up. And then we saw this kind of push down. And then when we saw what was going on in Afghanistan, they're pulling out of the war. War is a big expense for a country. We started to see DXY move up even more. And now we have Jerome Powell opening his mouth tomorrow. We really want to watch the DXY at 7 a.m. tomorrow. It's going to be a very important day. Remember, cash is a position. You don't always have to be a participant in the market. Sometimes the way that you can participate is by being on the sidelines, right? So there's just certain times that you just kind of have to see what's going to be the narrative, right? And then that narrative, you attach it to the technical analysis, and you go from there. So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuning into the channel. If you want to win Mastering Bitcoin, all comments are legible. I'll pick a winner from yesterday's video, and we'll wrap up here. Dorian Carter says, "Hey Naeem, I've been a sniper since 2017. The growth of the channel and Discord has been amazing. You will definitely reach 100,000 subscribers milestone." Thank you, man. It's been a dream ever since I was 12 and I had my first gaming channel on YouTube. And so it would be amazing to see this channel and the community grow to that level. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers. Send me a message on Instagram, Dorian, you want to book. And until next time, snipers.